With the state that the world is currently in, movies are just getting delayed left and right, and the MCU is no exception to that. We recently learned that almost every upcoming MCU movie, save Black Panther 2, have been pushed back one day on the release schedule. So now, Black Widow will not be coming out until November instead of the start of next May. So, yeah, that's fun. But that's not gonna stop me from making videos. And I am still super excited for that movie when it does eventually come out. And among all the reasons that I am so excited for it is seeing our friend Jim Hopper suit up as Alexei here, give me a minute.
Alexei
Shostakov. Okay, got it. Seeing our friend Jim Hopper suit up as Alexei whatever. You get the idea. AKA the Red Guardian. I mean, he looks like he's going to be a great part of the movie on both humor and action sides. But, I mean, who even knows anything about this character? I mean, I know I didn't. So today I thought I would answer the question, who is Red Guardian? In the comics, there have actually been 7 different characters to take on the role of the Red Guardian. And yeah, you heard that right. 7 different people. And I mean, it must be one flippity dang heck of a popular identity if 7 whole dudes, well, 6 dudes and a chick decided to use it. I mean, come on guys, could a little originality kill ya? But anywho, the first character to take on the role of the Red Guardian, chronologically speaking, was Alexei Lebedev. I mean, just gosh darn with these Russian names. He was created by writers Dana Morshad and Mike Thomas, and writer Phil Hester in 1991. Very little is known about him, except for he fought alongside Captain America in World War II, and yep, that's the first Red Guardian. And then we get to the star of our show today, Alexei Shostakov. Yes, I got it! He first appeared in Avengers issue 43 in August of 1967, and was created by Roy Thomas and John Buscema. Is that correct? That is correct! He stuck around for many years, appearing as a side character in a number of different comics, but never really having a series of his own. And yeah, that's really all there is to the real world history of him, so let's get into the story. Alexei was the Soviet Union's most skilled test pilot, and as such he flew many flights, both publicly and in secret, and because of this he became very well known, and even married the popular ballerina Natasha Romanoff. As he was becoming more of a star among the Soviet Union, Alexei was chosen for a special mission by the KGB, and his death was faked. And then he was no longer able to have any contact with those previously in his life. And distraught over the death of her husband, Natasha Romanoff joined the KGB and trained to become a spy in order to avenge the death of her husband. But that's not today's story. Alexei was trained to become the second Red Guardian, a costumed hero meant to be Russia's counterpart to Captain America, and over the years he became a very cold and sinister man, much different to the person he had once been. As the Cold War came into full swing, Alexei fought against the United States, and clashed with some of the Earth's mightiest heroes, the Avengers. Alexei was sent on a mission with Yuri Brushov to a military base in China by Colonel Ling, where Yuri was meant to test a new machine. I don't much like that line, it kinda sucks. Whatever, I ain't changing it now. At the same time, Black Widow was sent to the same military base on a mission from S.H.I.E.L.D., but she was captured. Hercules and Hawkeye followed her and were both subsequently captured by Alexei as well. And Alexei removed his mask and revealed to the captives who he truly was. Black Widow was shocked to learn that her captor was the man who had once been her husband, saying, "You, all this time? All these years? I thought you were dead." And Hawkeye, who was dating Black Widow at the time, was not too happy about it either. "What in the Sam Hill is going on? Your husband? Then I guess you don't have to waste your breath explaining anything to me. It couldn't make any difference now." I don't know what the heck that Hawkeye voice was. It was amazing though. Captain America led the Avengers on a rescue mission to save their teammates, and was confronted by the Red Guardian. Alexei was excited by this, as he saw it as his opportunity to prove once and for all that he was better than his American counterpart, Captain America. The two fought, and it was actually a pretty good fight. both kept getting the upper hand, and it really could have gone either way. That is, until Colonel Ling electrified Captain America, rendering him unconscious. But, Alexei was not happy about this. He was like,
"Hey man, you can't just do that. I wanted to beat him all by myself."
But Ling was like, "No, you could not do that. You needed my help. Ha!" From there, Ling tried to shoot Black Widow, but Alexei wanted to save the woman he loved, jumped in front of the gun, and was shot himself. So it turns out he did actually have a little bit of good left in him. I mean, it's like the classic saying, if you fake your death and betray your wife, get shot and it's all good. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. I mean, it's zero. Yeah. I've never actually heard that. I just made that up. Bet you didn't see that coming. Then, finally, as the Avengers are escaping, Ling tries to shoot an unconscious Captain America, who is being carried by Hercules, because, I mean, unconscious people don't actually tend to escape on their own, if you know what I mean. Again, though, Alexei saves the day, as he thinks it is unhonorable to shoot a defenseless man, so he thrusts Ling and the gun out of the way. However, this causes a laser beam fired to strike a bunch of gas pipes, and the whole building blew up, killing both Alexei and Ling in the process. Or so it seemed, because, you know, this is a comic book, and nobody is ever really dead in comics. Except Uncle Ben, yeah. He's dead. After that, the story does this thing that comics like to do, which is get really weird and confusing and kind of be like really hard to follow. And if you're saying, whatever, comics are always straightforward and super easy to follow. First off, I know you're lying, because nobody is saying that. And second, go tell that to Scarlet Witch's twins, who were conceived by magic, but then are actually imaginary, and then are demons created by Mephisto, but then wait, no, they're actually real and have superpowers now? Because that's a super easy story to follow. At first, Alexei came back as a life model decoy, or LMD, robot, created by the Russians in order to trick Black Widow into thinking her husband was still alive. Which, I mean, he was. He just wasn't this robot, and he somehow survived the explosion and getting shot by a laser, and yeah. Years later, he does come back, because, like I said, he just survived because he's cool like that. And he becomes Ronin because, of course, Hawkeye can't have anything cool to himself, and yeah, that's really all the more there is to his story. From what we've seen of the movie, it looks like there's certainly going to be some big differences. Like, for example, I would be very surprised if in this universe Black Widow and Alexei have ever had any sort of romantic relationship, because he seems to be more of a fatherly figure, and that just ain't right. Another thing that I think is worth mentioning is that in the comics, Alexei doesn't have any superpowers. He is at the peak human potential, and is an extremely skilled fighter and is fairly smart, but he is not superhuman. I don't, however, think this will be the case in the movie. I think they will do it much more similarly to how they did Captain America. Captain America in the comics doesn't really have any superpowers either. I mean, the super soldier serum certainly made him from a weak, scrawny kid into the peak human, but he is certainly not superhuman. He is said to be able to lift about twice his body weight, and can bench about 800 pounds with maximum effort, which is not actually that far off from the world record of 739.6 pounds. So yeah, he's certainly strong, but he's not superhuman strong. In the movies, however, there is no argument to be made. Cap is superhuman. From what we've seen of the trailers, it looks like they will be taking the same route with Alexei, which makes sense because he is supposed to be Captain America's equal. And let me just say, I am so excited to learn more about Alexei once this movie does come out. I love discovering new characters and just cannot wait for this film. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I really do hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to leave a like on the video and share it with your friends. And if you want to be sure that you never miss a video from me in the future, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And if there's any Marvel characters or other characters that you want to know more about, you can let me know down in the comments, and maybe I'll make a video about them. But anyways, once again, thank you so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. And that's all I've got for you today. I'll see you next time. Got to make myself done now. Skirt. Alexei was the Soviet Union's most... Alexei was excited by this, as he saw it as his opportunity to prove once and for all that he was better than...